Shadow Legendaries are some of the strongest Pokemon in the game. However, some of them are actual trash.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine.
This makes it very important for you to use your Super Rocket Radar on the correct Shadow Legendaries and not waste them on garbage.
They ask you how
So today I'll be outlining a strategy on how to stack your Black Rocket Radars and collect a bunch of them in your bag, so when the great Shadow Legendaries come out, like Shadow Mewtwo or even Shadow Rayquaza, come on, please come soon, I really want that Shadow Legendary, you can catch 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 versions of this Shadow Legendary, maybe not 10, and save yourself from catching bad Shadow Legendaries in Pokemon Go. So let's get into it. Okay, so this is a topic I've discussed in the past, but today I'm gonna break it down in depth as possible on how to stack radars and the correct method, because there's 2 ways you can do it, but one of them is way better than the other. First, I'm gonna direct your attention over to the screen here, in which we're gonna take a look at how Team Go Rocket special researches work. On screen is a list of all the past Team Go Rocket focused special researches. Every single one of these would reward you with a Super Rocket Radar, which is the radar you need to battle Giovanni, and then once you battle Giovanni and defeat him, you will get the current Shadow Legendary, which is currently available at the time that you battle Giovanni. Now the caveat here though is that it says additional Team Go Rocket special research cannot be unlocked while a previous one is in progress. This means that if I have Looming in the Shadows and I'm currently going through that research, and then hey, March 25th comes and From the Shadows comes out, I won't get that new special research. Now you're gonna wanna pay close attention to the word active, because there's a loophole around this, and that's how we're gonna be taking advantage of this strategy. But for now, take a look at this full list, check your special research tab and see if you have any of these currently active, currently going down. Because you may have logged into the game, you know, on February 2020th, ended up picking up a professor's work is never done, and now you're trying to get From the Shadows, but you can't get it. Also important to note, to actually unlock any of these here, you're gonna need to complete a Troubling Situation, which is a special research you get at level 8. So if you're a very new player, level 8, and you haven't completed a Troubling Situation, complete that, because that will then give you access to Team Rocket special researches. Okay, now how these researches work is pretty much every time there is a Team Go Rocket event, which is going to be about every 2 to 3 months. It's been changing, but generally it's every 3 months. But every single 3 months, Giovanni's Legendary will change in this Team Rocket event. We will have an opportunity to remove Frustration, and then the Team Go Rocket leaders, Shadow Pokemon, will change, as well as the Team Go Rocket grunts. And it's kind of just a celebration of Team Rocket. With it as well, since Giovanni's Legendary does change, we always get a new Shadow Legendary, which means we get a new one of these special researches. With these new special researches, of course, comes a Black Rocket Radar. And this brings us into the first strategy on how to save your Black Rocket Radar for future Shadow Legendaries. Now this one's gonna be very simple. Say you get From the Shadows the new special research, I'll put all the tasks on screen right here. And say Shadow Regice is the legendary, which it is, and you're like, I don't want that trash, it's not a very useful Shadow Legendary, I don't really want to use my radar on it. The first strategy, which is the one I don't recommend, but it is a possible strategy, is going to be to go ahead and complete the From the Shadows Team Rocket special researches. By the way, special researches are unlimited time. These things will never go away, so you're never limited on how much time, because it's a special research, not a timed research. But you'll go ahead and complete it, and you'll check the tasks on screen until you get to page 3 here, step 3, in which you have to defeat all 3 of the leaders, and that will get you the Black Rocket Radar, the Super Rocket Radar, you know, the words are the same, and then bang, you have a Black Rocket Radar. Now from this point, you'd be like, okay, I'm just gonna complete the research, I'm not gonna go ahead and use my Super Rocket Radar, my Black Rocket Radar. But you'll notice on the next page, it says, find the Team Go Rocket boss, battle the Team Go Rocket boss, and defeat the Team Go Rocket boss. So yes, to actually complete these Team Rocket special researches, you actually have to get your Black Rocket Radar from the research, and then use your Black Rocket Radar in the research. So there's really no way for you to complete a Team Go Rocket special research while saving your radar, because it forces you to use it to complete the research. Nonetheless though, you could still just, you know, halt yourself there, say, hey, I got my Black Rocket Radar, I'm not gonna battle Giovanni, I'm gonna go ahead and wait until the Shadow Legendary changes, and then I'm gonna use my Black Rocket Radar. But what you might have noticed based on the line we read here, additional Team Go Rocket special researches cannot be unlocked while a previous one is making progress. So yes, when Giovanni's Legendary does change, you're not gonna get the new special research to get a new Black Rocket Radar, and you're just gonna kind of just have the one you currently have, and you're gonna be at a standstill, because if you don't like the new Shadow Legendary and are willing to use your Black Rocket Radar on it, you're never gonna get the new research, which means you miss out on a Black Rocket Radar, because you miss out on that new research. Now, obviously a strategy you can use in this situation is just be like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and force myself to use that Black Rocket Radar on the new Shadow Legendary, which will probably be Shadow Regirock after Regice. And then once I complete this research, I'll get the new one, I'll go back up to page 3, get that Black Rocket Radar, and then hold it again. Pretty much what this allows you to do is stack up to 2 Black Rocket Radars, because when there's a Shadow Legendary that comes out that you actually care about, you'll use the one you currently have, you'll get the new research, you'll use the one one that you get, and then that gets you 2 of the new Shadow Legendaries. If you don't want to catch that Shadow Legendary, you'll just go ahead and use the Black Archer radar and then get the new research and then hold on to the radar. This is the old way to do this, but we want to look at the new method, the better method to go ahead and stack rocket radars. Now, remember I mentioned that word earlier, active. Yes, if you have a Team Go Rocket Special Research active, you're not going to get the new one. But there is a workaround this in which if you don't go past page 1, the game technically doesn't take a look at this as active. We'll take a look here at this post posted by Niantic support. Someone saying, "Aloha Niantic, is there a glitch? I've restarted a couple times. Will I get the Willow from the Shadow Special Research?" But clearly you can see here they have the Shadow Skirmishes Special Research at page 3. They're probably holding on to that Black Rocket radar. They're trying to do that strategy we just mentioned, but they're not getting the new one. Niantic then goes to say, first you need to complete the Shadow Skirmishes Special Research before getting the current one. You can only have one Team Go Rocket Special Research active at a time. Then this person below is going to go and show us the strategy we're about to talk about here, which shows, hey, I have 2. I have From the Shadows and I have Shadow Skirmishes. And you'll notice they're both on page 1. Yes, the strategy is that simple. If you do not go past the first page of any special research from Giovanni, for example here, if I never jump onto that second page, the game will look at that special research as unactive and say, hey, this person doesn't have any Team Rocket special researches. Let's give him the new one. You'll notice here in my game, I've done the same thing here. I have From the Shadows special research here, and then I also have Shadow Skirmishes, and I haven't even claimed the rewards. I don't know if this helps the strategy, but just don't touch it. Just don't touch it. And now I have From the Shadows special research and Shadow Skirmishes special research. This strategy I like to consider more like stacking researches, not stacking radars, because technically you are stacking these special researches, which do get you radars in the end, but you're not actually getting the radars in your bag. You're just holding them in your research. So theoretically, when the new special research comes out, since I haven't touched From the Shadows or Shadow Skirmishes, I'm gonna get the new one because again, the game's looking at it and saying like, oh, you don't have any active Giovanni special researches. You're fine. Here's the new one. And I'm just stacking these up. For example, right now I have access to 2 Black Archer radars. So if next time, you know, Shadow Rayquaza comes out, I'll have the new radar we get with the new research that comes out with Shadow Rayquaza, as well as these 2 getting me 3 Shadow Rayquazas if I want. The strategy is really that simple. Don't go past page 1 of any special research. Don't touch it at all and you'll be fine. Some people have asked me, hey, if I, you know, accidentally claim rewards on page 1 or, you know, complete all 3 tasks, claim all 3 and then get to the rewards on page 1, what happens? Personally, I can't tell you if it works or not at that point because maybe technically since you claimed rewards, you have turned that rocket research active. But what I recommend doing is go ahead and test it. Go ahead and keep it on page 1 because worst case, what happens there when the new special research comes out, you will either get it or you won't get it. If you don't get it, just complete the current one you have and then you'll get it because, you know, you can still complete it and get the new one. Now, I understand that this video is probably pretty late and most of you guys have probably already jumped to page 2, 3, 4, whatever of the special research. Maybe you've even completed it. But I still do want to make this video because this is important information to have for the future. Next time a special research comes out, a Giovanni special research comes out, keep your special research at page 1 if you do not want the current Shadow Legendary, and then technically you're going to be stacking that research. Now, what happens if you already went past page 1? If you are in the situation where you're already on page 2 or you're even on page 3 holding onto that radar, what do you do? Well, the best method to get out of that situation is going to be either 2 things. Number 1, if you want a Shadow Regice, just go ahead and complete that research, catch a Shadow Regice, get rid of it, and then the next time we have a new special research, you can then employ the strategy and start by just not touching it and leaving it on page 1. Or number 2, if you don't want Shadow Regice, what you can do is go ahead and wait till Giovanni's Legendary changes in about 2 to 3 months, probably going to be Shadow Regirock. Then use the Black Archer radar you currently have in your bag, catch a Shadow Regirock, and then when you get the new research, then don't go past page 1. If you've gone past page 1, you're pretty much just going to be forced to, at one point, complete that research fully, and then when you get the new one, then you can employ the strategy and stay on page 1 and not touch it. Now, a lot of concerns come up when I mentioned this strategy. Hey, will this be patched? What happens if this is patched? Am I going to lose all my special researches? Now, I've never heard of a situation where Niantic removes special researches from people who already have them. So if you have done this strategy and have gotten a new special research, the chance of Niantic going into your account and saying, hey, this is not supposed to happen, we're going to remove it, very, very low. Another concern is, hey, if I do this strategy and have 2 special researches or 3 or whatever, and then a new special research comes out and it ends up being patched and I don't get the new one, what do I do? Well, at that point, you'll just be forced to complete all the Giovanni special researches you have. I can't even say special research, and then you should get the new one. So really, this strategy is very, very safe to do. You're not really losing anything or risking anything. I hope this video explained it. I've tried to go in depth as I could and explain the kind of how everything works for Team Rocket. Really, at the end of the day, it's as simple as if you've already gone past page 1 on any of your Giovanni special researches, any of the ones I listed earlier, complete that, get the new one, and then don't touch it page 1 until a Giovanni Legendary comes out that you actually care about. For example, if Shadow Rayquaza comes out, at that point, you would go ahead and complete all of them, get as many Black Archer Raiders as you can, and then catch as many Shadow Rayquazas as you would like. Nonetheless, I will be trying my best to answer comments below, so if people are still confused, go ahead and comment below. I will try to help out. And also, if you are knowledgeable on on this subject. If you have done this strategy before, feel free to help out, feel free to help the community and answer some people who might still be a little bit confused. That's it though, guys. Good luck stacking radars in Pokemon Go, and follow for more tips. Peace.